you, don't be one of the 87%. Like, you were fucked. Like, I'm just telling you how it is a lot in this real estate industry, right? So JEFF GARZA taking a shower, you don't need to visualize that, taking a shower, YouTubing. And when it would stop, I would hit it again. So I would keep on hearing the podcast about someone who was a talking head in real estate, who was an expert, right? And I'm like, well, if they're an expert and they're on YouTube, they must be amazing. What I found out was everyone that was teaching was full of shit. And they kept on just going straight into sales. But ultimately, what I knew they were missing and what my brokerages were missing were actual training centers that were teaching the licensed professional how to become the advocate for the people who needed you the most. And there is a reason people sell and buy and invest in real estate. And it's as simple as this. Death, disease, divorce, job loss, job transfer, and change in family dynamic. Those are the only reasons people transact. So, as people started asking me over the years into it, when I had this large team in San Antonio, they were like, Jeff, who was your coach? Who trained you? He must have been a badass. How did you learn how to close all these people? I'm like, I haven't hired a damn person. All I've done was taken my social work approach to this human need in real estate and have great bedside manner and close all these listings with all these people who have pancreatic cancer stage 4 and are wanting to liquidate. So I felt like I understood the market and everything was going great. By this time, 5 years in, San Antonio Business Journal, top 50 team. San Antonio Business Journal, top 100 solo agent in the 7th largest city in the US. By this time, already been featured in Texas Monthly in the barbecue edition on July, 3 years in a row, Texas Monthly, okay? So you only saw the brisket and this guy who ate a lot of brisket was like on the back page, okay? But I've been in Texas Monthly 3 times. But anyways, so National Association of Hispanic Real Estate Professionals, we call that NARA. Multiple year top 100 agent in the state of Texas, multiple year top 250 solo agent in the US. I didn't do what I did, and I don't do what I do, in a sense, for those accolades. Today, those accolades matter for this type of discussion, and today, the concept of, well, is there proof of concept? Does this guy know what he's talking about? It's all there. And so to kind of just connect a few more dots, how did RedBird start? Who are we? What have I done? And this is going to be quick as well. So, RedBird Realty. I was a top dog at a KW franchise in San Antonio that at that time had 1,300 active licenses in that one office on the north side of San Antonio. I was a top 30 agent there. I had one of the top teams. I was a volunteer trainer, a volunteer mentor, so on and so forth. Five and a half years into the industry, throughout that little trajectory, my dad passed away. And you're like, oh my God, like, this is so sad. Why is he talking about this? It has everything to do with this company. RedBird Realty was born in a financial frustration that I had when I did not want to be JEFF GARZA for 60 days and would have preferred to go have mourned my father properly with my feet in the sand in the Mayan or in Cabo. But the problem is I had created my own problem. Well, Jeff, if you don't keep producing at the level you produce, you still have the bills now that you have, and now the production became the thing that I had to answer to. Because JEFF GARZA is cool at KW if he's still a volunteer trainer and still giving away teachings and trainings and recruiting for them. But when Jeff wants a 2-month sabbatical, it's shit on Jeff time. You'd be like, hey bro, like when are you gonna get back to selling? And that really, really upset me. It upset me enough that I realized that there was a problem in the industry. The problem in the industry was that you had 2 choices to choose from. Either a production cap model, which is an 80-20 split on your commission, a 70-30 split. The Cooper Sotheby's of the world, they still charge 60-40 on their agents just because of their name. Still today, 60-40. And they're not giving them business. Like they're just literally saying, hey, because you're with this international name, you're gonna give me 40% of every one of your deals. Like go validate what I'm telling you. It's like the mafia, it's crazy, okay? So that was that model, production cap. The other model was flat fee. A flat fee could be like $300 a month and you get what you pay for, which was no touch, no service, no office, no support, no culture, no training, no technology, no back end, no staff, no broker access, no legal access, no compliance, so on and so forth. So to kind of tie it back into my dad's situation, I had this frustrating moment in summer, a couple of months where I was like, I looked at my beautiful wife and I'm like, why the fuck can't I just stop? I want to take a fucking breather. And the answer was in the math. The answer was in the bills. And so one day I started to really dissect my tax returns. And in about a 30-minute time frame in my kitchen table, at that time, I was able to deduce, if you will, or to find, in a 4-year period, $260,000 that I had paid to the franchise because it was the cost of doing business. I could have really have stood to use those 260, or half of it, or a quarter of it, just to take out 45 days, 60 days, so I could just go think about my dad. Which, to be quite honest, I still never have. And so what was born from that frustration was the concept, and I'll fast forward, if you've ever heard of this thing called Netflix, then you understand what I'm trying to build already, okay? Netflix was the solution and an answer to somebody who had a VHS cassette tape under their bed, eventually wanted to do the right thing, honor their commitment. 3 months later, they were college students, or whatever, take it back, and then he has this $189 slap on the wrist in the mid-90s. Well, fuck, that was easily a car payment, insurance, and gas back then. I mean, if we're being real. So that's, if you haven't read the book and you don't know how Netflix started, that was the frustration. Why, as a subscriber and as a member, am I being penalized? Why am I not being incentivized to be a good member to their club, to the Blockbuster Society? So what I thought to myself very quickly was this. The real estate market sucks for realtors because they're either going to take a shit ton of money and put a veil on it, which is, well, we take a shit ton of money because we give you a ton of support, or we're going to take hardly any and you're going to get virtually little to zero support, right? So I thought to myself, how come nobody has ever done high touch, low fee? Is that possible? Like, I mean, I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but geez, I'm sure people would have had this frustration. Well, I think I was the right guy at the right time with the right production to have this very unique frustration. Most agents today close less than 5 homes annually. They never were closing hundreds of deals the way I did. Most agents hopefully still have their mom and dad and never have this frustration where they're like, you know what, I don't want to do this for a minute. And so when you're at the top in your city and you really want to take a break and then you start to actually have this pain point, which is, where's all the money, right? Then that's where basically the concept of RedBird Realty was born. And so RedBird Realty, I named it after my father to pay homage to him and his spirit and his soul. RedBird, if you've read any Bible or any story about religions, about cultures across the globe, the cardinal or the redbird symbolizes a loved one past coming back to you to check on you, to tell you they love you, to tell you that they think about you. So RedBird Realty is my calling card. It's about my dad. It's bigger than me, and that's why we've grown. So RedBird today, I sponsor nearly 200 agents across the state of Texas. San Antonio was headquarters. We are in our 7th year of having this independently owned brokerage. We basically have created a culture to where we provide anywhere from 3 to 5 to 6 trainings, virtual, online, and in person at all of our offices. And we have this cool little low fee approach. And you'd be like, well, how is that possible? How is it sustainable? Well, trust me, I had questions too. But what we do with our agents is very simple. Our agents love us and don't leave us because they love their money. I know enough about business to know that they're not loyal to me. They may say they are, but they love you until they don't. And everybody can understand that, right? So they're loyal to their fat commission check. They're loyal to seeing that this broker owner hasn't changed the fee structure in 7 years. When I probably could have, when interest rates 3 years ago went to 8.25 and 8.5, and everyone's like, what the fuck are we gonna do? Well, thank God you're at RedBird because Jeff isn't deep in your pockets. So even through a storm, they stayed, okay? So what do? Our financials are fairly simple, and I'll just break it down. And I should have said this earlier. I called Dan Nieto the Joe Rogan of North Texas, okay? And he told me specifically, no fucking slides, Garza. That's how he told me. I think you might have said that. It might have been with that. No fucking slides, Garza. You just need to have your story and just tell it. Okay, cool. Well, I don't have any slides, so I don't have all these metrics and everything that I can tell you, but I can tell you what they are in my head. But bottom line, thank you, Dan, for no slides, okay? So let me just go through this real quick, all right? So at RedBird, you can join RedBird, and every agent has a membership plan that they choose from when they enter the door, and then annually, they get to reset however they choose. Agent 1, RedBird Frequent. Pay $300 a month from your debit card, like a Planet Fitness membership, no matter if you sell anything or not. A lot of people are like, well, we would need, like that's a $3,600 plan, Garza. Like, why don't you call it a $3,600 plan? Great question, because it's not. It's a month-to-month partnership with your sponsoring broker, where your sponsoring brokerage has to earn the keep, so next month you don't cancel that card. So it's month to month. So in a year's time, obviously the simple math is $3,600. The second plan that we have is, hey, you know what, Jeff, I don't like to be nickel to dime. I don't want another monthly expense. I'll just write you a check for $3,600. We don't take your $3,600. It's $3,000 and you're done for the year. Done for the year. The second one is a one we came up with about 2 years ago during the 8.25%, 8.5% interest rate crisis that many of you who are in real estate understand. And I was like, holy shit, we cannot lose our agents, because I'm actually a professional realtor license collector. That's what I am. And that's what y'all will be a part of, okay? I was like, how can we keep them even if they're getting their teeth bashed in? Even if these realtors have gone to Uber driving or Uber eating or whatever they're doing just to make ends meet. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. Over 2.5 years ago, the next plan that we created was RedBird 50/50. Come on, no monthly, no annual. We'll train you, tech you, culture you, support you, build you, mentor you, coach you, and guide you with one promise on a contract. That whenever you close your first deal in the next 12-month window, it's a 50/50 commission split one time between RedBird and you. Find me another broker who will ride with you. Now, we have a ton, and those are turning into $800,000 splits, $1 million splits, things of that nature. So we're killing it with that, to be quite honest. Where most people are like, that's bullshit, Jeff, you're giving it away for free, why would you do that? Because again, I'm a professional real estate license collector, okay? So, I guess last few pieces would be, San Antonio is headquarters. Like I said, 7 years now, we're in the 7th year in existence today. The Broker of the Year thing was cool. The Inc. 5000, the Inc. 500 was cool. We sell anywhere, we settle and close anywhere from, depends on what year and things have grown. But it used to be like 800 and now it's close to 1,400 to 1,500 closings per year, okay? How else do we monetize? When you come in, there's a $349 onboarding fee. It never repeats. We tell them, we're not going to charge you again in a year because we're actually going to be loyal to you. Why would we ding you again? They love that. Because the competitors, KW, RE/MAX, and so-and-so, every year you stay, there's a re-up fee. That doesn't seem very loyal to me. So we have our onboarding fee, we have our plan structure, we have an admin and an E&O that is a profit center all day long. We charge $249 per closing. Well, why would they pay the fee and then why would they pay $249 for admin and E&O? Because the admin covers office space in those markets where we're at, access to media guys who will go do video closings, video testimonials at no charge to the agent. Find me a broker that's willing to do that for you. We inundate them with so much support, and I'm gonna just simply say, we're high touch, high support, super low fee. And I'm gonna give you some statistics. Last year, National Association of Realtors said that 72% of all licenses across the US closed, what is it, Mike? Zero homes. Oh my God, this is not investable, we're gonna go broke. RedBird agents, and my wife is like the auditor's auditor. Okay, she's kind of in the finance world. RedBird agents, 78% of our agents across the board closed real estate last year. So we're doing something that's kicking the ass out of the national rates. So when they're closing 78% of deals, and then they're not giving away 20%, 30%, 40% splits, and I'm the reason that they're more profitable in their model when they were never taught in real estate school to look for profitability. We are the best kept secret in Texas. I have our headquarters in San Antonio, about a 3,600 square foot office. We have our Central Texas expansion. For anybody who's military, you probably have heard of something called Fort Hood. I have an office that I opened up 2.5 years ago in Temple. It's basically Temple, Belton, Killeen, Copperas Cove, Harker Heights if you're from the Texas area, but it's just call it CTX or Central Texas. It's an hour north of Austin. And then at the end of last year, having a golden eagle and a cigar, in this down market, which it is, but it isn't for us. I was like, what do you think about this concept? He's like, oh, maybe we could toy around with it. And ultimately, to answer some high-level questions, well, why would I be willing to give away, in my opinion, so much? Because this would be the answer. Scale, speed, and the right time. I'm 46 years old, even though my gray beard may make me look older. My oldest child is 26, long story. My youngest child is up in my hotel room and is 1 year old. Long story. What happens in Vegas? Anyways, I digress. Anyways, I don't want to know that stuff, okay? So, am I hungry? 1,000%. Am I satisfied? Not at all. Do I have a vision to make RedBird Realty the premier independent real estate brokerage of the entire state of Texas? Abso-fucking-lutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. I will do it alone, or I can do it with some amazing people that Dan has so graciously afforded this opportunity to. We are pretty debt-free, other than a small idle loan we took during COVID that I paid $500 a month on, and a couple of credit cards that we used, you know, depending to get some flight miles and shit like that. But we've learned, and I've learned. We've learned about overhead. We've learned about infrastructure. We've learned about the right copiers. We've learned about the right leases. We've learned about owning our own offices so we can be the landlord instead of the tenant. I've learned about all those, but I don't have enough time to break it down for you all. But again, almost 200 agents in the state of Texas, an active San Antonio presence. We're basically like, in San Antonio, there's over 200 brokerages, even if they're like one or two man brokerages. And then there's the big ones. The biggest one in San Antonio is at about 1,300 licenses. Every quarter, every semi, and every time that the president of SABOR holds like emergency meetings with like the top influencers in the city, RedBird has one of the 10 seats that are always invited. We represent a lot of real estate. We represent a lot of consistency. And so other things that we monetize, because you may be thinking, I'll make it quick, we monetize every relationship and every referral partner. Water softener companies that want to pitch to our agents, home warranty companies that want to pitch to our agents, lending companies that want to pitch, title partnerships, roofers, solar, plumbers, general contractors. They do not get to pitch to our precious agents at any of our trainings, any of our meetings, until they pay the entry to get into the door. Because we have to monetize. We have to monetize because I'm not screwing the agent to the tune of a 40% split. So I have found a way to create more revenue, and there's a little bit more, but I think that's probably a good general gist of what it is. So last but not least, the opportunity, very simple. We have San Antonio Metro, we have the Central Texas region. We're very solid there. We just opened up the RGV in March, so we're like 5 months into the RGV play. The initial pro forma that we had pushed out, Dan and I were looking at it, and I had presented to Dan, was basically we would become profitable for sure on the seed money that they had invested, the small group that he was able to put together. We would be profitable without a doubt once we hit 40 agents, or inside of a 12-month period if I could get 20 to produce. So right now we're at 15, so I'm bringing on 3 new agents per month, and in a 1-year period we will be at the 40, okay? Now there's probably some very smart individuals in front of me who would like to know what is the metric and yield for a license holder. It's the worst formula. It's hard for me to put into words. That's why I say we are in the license collecting business. Because sometimes Johnny Joe sells nothing in a year, and then the next year he goes off and does 25 deals. So as long as we keep on hedging our bet with more licenses in the seats, we continue to win. And we train them, we support them, we mentor them. We have all these programs in place. So San Antonio, Central Texas, RGV is kicked off right now. And then where we're headed now, what's the future? Simply put, the next 3 offices in this opportunity today, or the one that's going to be obviously available to everybody here at PIG, is DFW. If you were to ask me today, like, hey Jeff, like, where do you see that office? It's going to be Plano, Frisco for sure. Then there's the Houston opportunity, and then there's going to be Austin. I have agents today that already work all those metro areas. They just don't have offices, and it's going to be a little bit easier to recruit than it has been for the Valley, which is a 4.5-hour drive and in its own universe down there by the border. Okay, so that was the hard one, if I'm being honest with you. But we have those other ones. And then last, Houston, easily, we could do 3 because of how large it is. There's 50,000 realtors a part of the board there in Houston Association of Realtors. Dallas easily could have 3 RedBirds, all on their own P&Ls as a separate branch. Arlington, Frisco, Plano, and Fort Worth proper, at least. Those are the 3, and then Austin, potentially, so on and so forth. So anyways, I hope that is helpful to y'all, and I hope I didn't bore y'all. And if you have any questions, I would ask for you to ask me now. Yes, sir.
So it sounds like you're not taking any split. Do you dictate the agent's commission? Do they decide? Or are you just taking the admin fee and the annual fees and the one-time onboarding?
Yeah, we monetize all those back-end fees. They dictate the commission, but we train them to be able to have value, to be able to charge what we would consider top commission rates. So do I have a bunch of like discount realtors that are doing it for discount? No, because they wouldn't have come to RedBird because they wanted to keep more of their commission. So we very much tell them, go for the highest amount that you can and that you can prove that you're worth. And we teach them and coach them through that. So no, we don't have very many if at all. Because I don't believe in that as a leader. I don't believe in that. I think a really great realtor is worth more than the 3 or 6%. That's me. Yeah. Yes, sir.
After the third example where you had the 50-50 split, after that, no split? Or
They can only choose one of the 3. 300 a month, recurring, 3,000 upfront gets you covered from 365, or the one-time 50-50. And every anniversary, they can reselect. And when we recruit them, and when we kind of, I don't want to say brainwash them, but when we program them, and indoctrinate them into our world and into our culture, we always tell them, come in with whatever makes sense, but try to become the realtor who prepays us the $3,000, so we're done with it.
But that 50-50 split happens every year when you renew the next program, the first one?
No, the 50-50 can be their plan for that year.
Okay.
So that's the big question mark one. But it yields quite a bit of return right now. It's working out very well.
Well, it's like the disclaimer on the 50-50. So like, I don't just give you my $80,000 land sale where the commission is.
This is the beautiful part, and this is why people trust me and trust our company. No minimum, no maximum. I will roll with my agent till the end because they need to be loyal to the brand. We have a 78% agent license retention over 6.5 years. The last 3 years are annual awards. We've had more than 10 each year that have received a 5-year award where they haven't left us. So we keep them, we train them, we pay them well, and I've never spent $1 on ads to recruit. All of this is through the real estate schools, pre-licensing. Like in the Valley, I already have green light and have already presented at South Texas College, University of Texas, RGV, to their real estate programs. I am a preferred sponsor at Champions Real Estate School, which many of y'all maybe have seen or heard of. So going to Dallas, Houston, and Austin is going to be easy. I already have been doing that in San Antonio and Austin for almost 6-7 years. So we can go pitch to all these people. A lot of people don't like building a company that way because it's like, hey, why do you want to get these green agents? Well, easy. So I can teach them our way and build them up the way we want them and keep them. Now, do we have transfers? Do we have high producing agents and all that? Yes, we do. Of course we do. Yeah. Any other? Yes, sir.
So I guess I got that the first deal with Dan was $200,000 to 40%.
It was a lot less.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
Anyway, using that, what would be the unit dynamics, profitability? You know, what are you looking, not only for the money to get started in that location, but what's the profit? You know, if you were selling a franchise, what would you tell your franchisee that?
Well, if I told you, I'd be lying, and I'm gonna quantify that statement because there are too many outliers for me to come up with a true, proper metric to say that each license yields X amount. What I know to be true is that with proper training, proper support, proper culture, proper backing, proper office environment, staffing, and all these other things, we keep and create a brokerage to this day, big, high level, that sells 78%, that 78% of them sell real estate. So I know that metric, right? Because I would be lying to you if I said, well, if we get 10 in Austin, they're gonna make us X amount. What if those 10 are only good to bring in the next 10 that do? So I would be lying. And I know I'm not answering you, but I can't give you a bullshit answer. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
What is the raise for? And then I guess maybe kind of trying to piggyback on his question.
Yeah.
Is there like, what's your average value per license?
Okay.
Obviously that's
Okay,
my range,
so
but-
yeah, okay, I get where you're going. So what the raise is for is infrastructure, number one. in terms of office space leases or even acquisition from the corporate side, like my side already, like the San Antonio piece of it, okay? Again, I'd rather us be the landlord versus the tenant. That will increase our profitability and every other investor's profitability the sooner I can get us out of leases. So that's a big one. The second one would be to have enough money in the bank to be able to look at people when I hire them, to know that if the shit hit the fan with the market or some sort of global pandemic or some sort of unwanted war, I can still pay that admin, that secretary, and that marketer in that office for a year and know that we're going to keep on trucking, which we did during COVID, right? And so it's really infrastructure for me. And then if you were saying like, well, what is it per head? It's like 3.8 units per head. But I don't like that number because it's not completely true. I have an agent in Central Texas who last year closed 57 deals on her own.
What's your profitability per license, I guess?
There's multiple variables depending on what they pay us, which plan, how long they stay with us paying for the seat, and what kind of volume and production they have. It's a very detailed answer, which I don't even know that the smartest mathematician in this room can get to. What I look for is agent retention, agent recruiting, and growth. As long as we have numbers on our side, we will always have deal because people will always die death and disease. And I'm the leader to get them there. Even if they couldn't sell ice to an Eskimo, I can help them gain my confidence and knowledge with my mentor program, with our training, with our systems, because they're proven now.
So this investment is specifically for the Dallas office?
All three right now. Austin, Houston, and Dallas.
Okay.
We're ready to go. We're ready to go. And so, high level, I think I said it, but high level, infrastructure.
One, last question.
So, are you the sole recruiter and leader, or do you have a managing broker at each office?
I'm the broker of owner for the state of Texas. I'm the broker of record with Trek. I do some recruiting. I do some pitching. I have other staff that does recruiting and pitching and interviewing. Our mentors do pitching, and we also have an incentive at RedBird, which is why I say we're the best kept secret in Texas, where any agent who brings in a license and refers them or recruits them to the company, every year in March when we have our big grand award ceremony, it's a big deal, red carpet, black tie affair, we give away a 3-year car payment to anybody who was in that drawing. And we've already done it for 3 years in a row. So when I say I haven't paid for marketing, I guess you could say I pay for it $600 a month in these cars. But our agents closing deals, putting together social proof is massive bandwidth alone, because the real estate community, it's like a hive of bees. Everybody knows who's everybody. We just need to be known in Dallas, Fort Worth, and in Austin and Houston, and keep on moving forward to what our ultimate goal is. And then there can be secondaries. There can be Hill Country, there can be Laredo, there can be El Paso, there can be others, which would be in the future.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jeff.